And we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are now going to talk about head coach of the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, and whether or not this could possibly be his last year coaching in New England. Obviously, like for me, I have no idea. I don't. But I definitely could see it happening because I just feel like right now the Patriots are a mess. The quarterback situation's a mess. There's little to no talent at wide receiver, really on offense. The defense, is still good, but, it doesn't help when you have an offense that just can't put up points. And, obviously a lot of people, they talk about, maybe Bill Belichick, taking a step back and not being the GM, the guy that's in charge of the draft going forward and being in charge of, bringing guys in through free agency, which, I think could be the right decision. You get another voice in there because, listen, it could be one of those situations where the game just kind of passes you by. And we're kind of seeing that with the Patriots right now because they're not a very good football team. They just aren't. They're a really bad team. They can't put up points, and they only have one win on the season, and they're lucky to even have that, which, again, still can't wrap my head around the fact that they beat the Jets. I just can't. But I think it really just all depends on how the Patriots finish off the season. Like, if they win, like, one more game after this or maybe get to 3, because right now that's what they look like, a 2 or 3 win team. I think it is a strong possibility that Belichick doesn't come back. And maybe he leaves. I don't think, like for me, and I think I've talked about this on a previous show, or maybe just like, I have said this in recent weeks. But the Patriots are not going to fire Bill Belichick. They're going to part ways. That's what it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see a headline that says Patriots fire Bill Belichick, even though that's what most fans probably want to see because they're just absolutely done with him, which it honestly is crazy how fast they turned on him. They are fed up with what the Patriots have become. And, I don't want to say I sympathize with them, but I understand, their complaints. I mean, none of them probably wanted Brady to go. But Belichick wanted him gone. He wanted to move in a different direction. He's been trying to move off of Brady. He tried moving off of Brady for years. With the Garoppolo situation, and then they traded him to the Niners. I mean, Belichick wanted to move off of Brady, but, obviously they kept winning Super Bowls and making the playoffs every year. So that really never ended up happening. And they made a mistake. Now, there's people talking about, like, Belichick kind of sabotaged Brady and, didn't really surround him with talent so he could just leave. I don't know if I want to go far as saying that. Because look at the talent they're surrounding Mac Jones with. I mean, you bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Gesicki, Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, maybe they're nice complementary pieces if you have a loaded offense. Like, if you put those guys on the Chiefs right now, yeah, those are, I mean Zeke being like that, that goal line running back, even though Isaiah Pacheco's done a great job. Mike Gesicki as a number 2 tight end to Kelsey. And, Juju Smith-Schuster back on the Chiefs. I mean, listen, that's good for the Chiefs, but for the Patriots, I mean, they're like the top options there. That's not what you want, So, it's been a rough go for the Patriots. It has. I mean, and listen, Belichick's whiffed on a lot of picks. I mean, you draft N'Keal Harry over DK Metcalf. That's just one instance you could really think of. You trade for Mohamed Sanu, back Brady's last season to help him out on offense. An older Mohamed Sanu. It's just, I mean, those are just some moves you could think of. I mean, the spending spree was bringing in Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, who isn't even on the team anymore. Yeah, I mean, they just, you could say, people could think that he sabotaged Brady, but look at what he's surrounding Mac Jones with. I mean, Mac Jones really doesn't have a lot to work with. Now, Mac Jones is nowhere near the player that Tom Brady is, of course. Not just from an accolade standpoint, from just a skill standpoint. I mean, you saw the horrible interception he threw when he was rolling out, and he just threw it. And Hunter Henry was wide open. He threw it right to the defensive back of the Raiders. It's I listen. I would not be surprised if this is it for Belichick. Now, does that mean, is he going to go off into the sunset and be done with coaching, or is he going to want to continue to coach? I don't know. I mean, maybe he wants a new, that people talk about he takes the Brady route and, he goes to another situation that's better for him and he tries to win there. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. And that's why I at the end, to make that smooth transition into this segment from the Herbert segment, maybe he goes to the Chargers. If the Chargers don't make the playoffs, I mean, Brandon Staley should be gone. I mean, he should have been gone after the playoff loss last year to the Jags, because that's a fireable offense in itself. But for some reason, the Chargers were like, "Nah, we're gonna hold on to you." And that was a spot that maybe Sean Payton would go to, but then he ended up taking the Broncos job, and yeah, look at what the Broncos are right now. So I don't know. Maybe Belichick goes somewhere else and coaches. I mean, I kind of lean more towards seeing that as opposed to him just walking away, because I think he still loves the game. It's just right now, it's what's been happening the last couple of years with the Patriots. It's been bad. It's been really bad. And it really hurts. It does hurt his legacy, because you let Tom Brady go, and he goes off his first year with his new team, wins the Super Bowl. I shouldn't say he should have, but could have won the second year with his new team, because they were just as good as the year they won the Super Bowl, if it wasn't for the Rams. And what has Bill Belichick done since then? 7-9. Then the following year you make the playoffs, but you get smoked by the Bills in Buffalo. Then you go 8-9 and miss the playoffs. And now, right now, at this point, you're 1-5. And you're not going anywhere. And the conference has passed you. There are so many teams better than the Patriots. You could argue every team in the AFC is better than the Patriots. I mean, the Broncos and the Patriots do play each other during the year, and I think is it on Christmas? It's either on, or is it, we gotta look. Hold on. Let's see. So the Patriots, they play the Broncos. Not Christmas, but Christmas Eve. That's the nightcapper on Christmas Eve. So when you're having a nice time with your family, watching some football, and you're like, hey, what's the last game that's on tonight? And it's gonna be the Broncos and the Patriots. Now I don't know how the flexing thing works with that. Could they flex out of that and put something else on? But I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of football being on Christmas. I mean, I like it, but it kind of does. It does ruin Christmas a little bit. Well, I don't want to say it ruins Christmas, but I just prefer Thanksgiving football. Like Christmas, I kind of just want to enjoy my holiday and not be distracted. Football is going to be a huge distraction. It was a distraction last year. Yeah, so that will be that actually will decide, are the Patriots the worst team in the NFL? I mean, they kind of already are, but I mean, listen, the Broncos are just as bad. That's another offense that just can't score. That's going to be fun trying to decide who to pick in that game. Might have to just flip a coin with that, but yeah, I mean, it's tough to. It really is tough to determine what's going to happen with Belichick at the moment, because maybe the Patriots figure it out somehow, but listen, they struggled to move the ball against the Raiders, score points against the Raiders, who really don't have a good defense. So, I mean, they can't do that. Who are they gonna move the ball against? Actually, let's look at the Patriots schedule. So they play the Bills this week, which doesn't get any easier. Then the following week they play the Dolphins. Awesome. Then they're home against the Commanders. Now, Bill Belichick is very good against, young quarterbacks. So maybe, they could get a win there. Then they play the Colts in London. I get that's a winnable game. They could maybe win that. Then they're on a bye. Then they're at the Giants. Again, another winnable game. The Giants are one of the worst teams in football. But then you play the Chargers, which, again, we just talked about, Justin Herbert and him being overrated or not. Maybe they could win that. At the Steelers, they own the Steelers, even when last year they beat the Steelers. This is in Pittsburgh. Could win that. Home against Kansas City, you probably don't win that. At Denver, winnable game. At Buffalo, probably don't win that. And then home against the Jets, which for some reason the only team you could beat is the Jets. So maybe you win that. So maybe you finish with 4 wins. Maybe. If you're lucky. Man, that's so weird saying that. Imagine saying the Patriots, if you're lucky, you can win 4 games. Listen, for me, I thought Tom Brady was going to play forever for the Patriots, but that ended up not happening, and now look what they are now. But here's the thing. Nobody has sympathy for them. No one. I don't have sympathy for them. That's why I said can't say I sympathize with you, because the Patriots dominated the league for so many years. And at some point, it was going to catch up to you, and, you weren't going to, have the success was going to end at some point. And that's exactly what's happened. It's over. It's over. Now, for Belichick, I think, if they, you win 2, 3, 4 games, I'd be like, I'm out. But at the same time, it's like, you caused this. I don't know. For me, I'd be like, let me try to go somewhere else. Because, a team will pick him up in an instant. A team will definitely, if Bill Belichick is on the market, somebody will sign him and give him a shot. It's like that with, Brian Cashman of the Yankees. If ever he leaves, a team will snatch him up very quickly. Sorry, I had to bring in the Yankees into this discussion because it's all over my room. But it's been a rough couple of years for Bill Belichick, and it's possible that this could be it for him. And for me, I look at it more of he leaves and goes to another team. I don't think he'd flat out retire. But again, that's just speculation. I have no idea. I really don't. I'm not in the mind of a Bill Belichick. I have no idea. So yeah, that's basically that is pretty much it when it comes to the Bill Belichick discussion here. So with that, when we come back from our final break of the show, we will preview tonight's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. Now, it's going to be a little tough because, Trevor Lawrence is still questionable and is a game-time decision. Now, again, I lean more towards he's going to play, but anything can happen. So when we come back from break, we will preview the game between those teams, and I will pick who I think is going to win. So stick around, and we will be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.